This video is going to be about ClickLog, one of the features in the app. And to start, you probably discovered Skills Economy from Quora, which is the Quora page I created for it. So if you look at the bottom, it's the web address is skillseconomy.quora.com. And up at the top of the page, you'll see that there's a website, chargingthefuture.com. So that is the domain that hosts the Skills Economy. And as you are probably already aware, the Skills Economy is a peer-to-peer network slash marketplace for targeted individuals to receive goods, services, amongst other targeted individuals. Effectively a SIOP-free economy. So the reason why I'm pointing out the Quora page is if you ever need to get to the web address, this is where you'll go. So now we're going to go ahead and go to the website. And the reason why I'm showing the website is that everything that is listed in ClickLog in terms of schemes and problems is listed on the website. So by going to the website, you were able to get a preview of everything. So this is the website on mobile, obviously. And you can go to the menu and look while I fixed it is a list of all the problems, and then it has the schemes. Alternatively, if you go to the footer of the page, you'll see look ma, I fixed it, and the schemes. So what is ClickLog? ClickLog is the ability for you to timestamp and location stamp an incident that has happened to you. And those incidents, you don't have to list what problem it caused or a scheme. It's really just for your personal use. However, if you would like to add your data to trend analysis in terms of what is happening to TIs globally, you'll be able to tag your incidents. So let's start with, well, Look Mom, that page was created a few months ago. And then it wasn't until recently that I added it to ClickLog. Now, with Lookma, what it's saying is it's basically showcasing approximately 50 problems and how the skills economy addresses those problems. Now, 50 problems to go through on this video would be pretty lengthy. Again, you can come and look at it at yourself. But very simple, it lists the different types of things that happens to us. So for example, being followed and harassed by police, what is or how does skills economy assist with that? And it shows you what features within the skills economy. Now, the reason why this is important is because when you attach it to ClickLog, we can now track how the movement of basically activity with this virtuality, and we can better track how it's impacting the lives of targeted individuals across the globe. Now, if we go to the schemes, this is new, and uh, basically it allows you to have an incident, right? So it allows you to do two things, right? So when you have an incident, you're going to put in the description. The description is probably going to be a bit long. And so now you can attach to incidents a scheme, and it kind of closes the information gap on what really happened. And how this helps the community is when you attach it to an event, it means we can say, without sharing your specific personal details, we can just say that this specific scheme happened to you in this area. And so it provides a layer of privacy as well as closing the gap in what you're reporting. And I did make a post that referenced this. You can also look it up as well. But the UN does categorize what we're doing, what is being done to us as a crime, um, and a form of torture. And so by adding these schemes onto, as well as the problems that it's caused, it provides you a great way to track the incidents. And if you ever wanted to submit it to United Nations, then you could have a nice, clean report that you can send. So let's go through here. Now, for starters, if you have any feedback on the problems and schemes and you would like it to be updated, have suggestions or so forth, just go to the app. So if you go to app.chargingthefuture.com, once you're signed in, the first page that you'll see is the group chat, which is what we're seeing right now. So this is the login view. This is the live website. You can come in here and type messages, and I will respond to them. So if you have any feedback, if you want to add anything, this is one avenue to do that. So now let's go back to schemes. So each of these playbooks are basically run on targeted individuals at various times. And again, we're going to get to it soon, but ClickLog allows you to basically log an incident with it. So let's go through these schemes. We have scapegoating by proxy, where they basically follow you around, create chaos wherever you are, and then circle around you to make it seem like you're the one that is causing the issue, and that if the community gets rid of you, then all the chaos will stop, right? We have mail mirage, which is where they tamper with your mail. We have conspiracy carousel, where they falsely label a survivor with mental health issues. Their favorite is schizophrenia, and they have operatives in mental health, as well as people following you around to basically plot for you to be committed. This one's always a weird one, but they have that's nice. So they'll have an op walk up to you and compliment you to basically sensitize you to stuff that you own, your mannerisms, etc. We have the extremely common honeypot, which can be platonic as well, but they'll send a coworker to be extra friendly to you, a fake friend, roommate. Their favorite one though is always the honeypot one. Um, Again, it's very common. A lot of this stuff is to extract information from you. One of the things I do notice from other TIs, because I haven't, fortunately, I haven't fell for any honeypot, but for people online, a lot of times what they do is they'll use the honeypot to create fake domestic violence issues. um, Again, another way to extract information. The other thing is to also make fun of you having relations with people. It's just very weird. But again, it just falls in line with defamation of character, humiliation, harassment, etc. They have entrapment and bait. This is also another common one. They will try to get the target individual to do drugs, to buy a gun, do any type of illegal activity. And again, the whole point is to discredit your character for when you try to report these individuals. They have the stage needing help. This one's also another weird one. Not quite sure what it really means, to be honest, but it is common. They'll have people around you doing theater, pretending that they are in need of help. Um, and I guess it's just to provoke a reaction, some type of reaction from you. They have good cop, bad cop. Um, this is also very common. They'll have two perps surround you. One is extremely hostile. One is extremely friendly. So you can bounce between the two for some future setup of some kind. They have the fake counselor, fake help. That one's pretty straightforward. Again, it's a perp who may or may not be part of an institution, and the whole goal is to slander you, to create narratives about your mental health, and etc. They have ones where they have a scheme where they lure you to a location. Usually, that is to have you witness a specific staged or scripted event. We have the stage narratives, playing loud recordings of scripted conversations, all a way to move you in a specific direction on a topic, like an opinion, or try to manipulate you into doing something that they want you to do. They have the fabricated flaw, This one is very common, at least in my scenario. They'll just try to find something to sensitize you to, something to, they want you to have insecurities. Um, and so, a very common one is working out all day in the hot sun and walking up and saying that you stink right on your way to take a shower. So, ridiculous things like that. The and the kettle. This is also very common. If you are overweight, they'll have someone overweight approach you and tell you you're overweight. They'll have a disabled people mock your disability. And the mismatch is obnoxious. It's very deliberate, very obvious. And it's a way to manipulate both sides. The perp themselves is effectively living a lie, and it's a way to also try to attack your self esteem. We have stage road rage, that also is a very common one where they're doing scripted accidents and altercations. And so I went through 14, and there's how many? So there's 29. So there's a bunch, right? So hopefully you kind of get the drift. So when you go into ClickLog, so this is again the landing page. So if you want to preview the descriptions for each of the schemes and the problems before you tag them, this is where you could go. So when you go to the app, which again you can access on the homepage, if you click that, I already have it saved on my desktop, which is why I'm just going to open it from here. So here again is the homepage, the group chat. Use it for community support, ask any questions, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. That's what the chat bubble icon is. If you click the icon next to it, which it has the 4 squares, you get a list of all the apps. You scroll to ClickLog, and right now I've listed one incident. My notes area is pretty long. Yours doesn't have to be that long. I have no problem sharing this. This is why, anyone can see it. However, again, when you write your notes, it's not visible to the rest of the community. It's only to you. However, if you want to add schemes and problems, that information will be shown in a trend report, and I'll show you that screen so you can kind of see what it looks like. So I'm just going to click log an incident just so you can see what the screen looks like. You'll see here you can add a note, but it's optional. And again, all the problems and all the schemes are listed on the landing page, the website that we were at previously. So you can read more details if you wanted to. So that's where you can go to get the descriptions. You can attach up to 10 problems and up to 10 schemes to each one of your notes. You want to click add location. And again, it'll just give a general location, general geographic location in the trend report, not your precise location. And so, you can type in the problem here, then you can select the problems. Very straightforward. You can remove them if you added one by accident or change your mind. And then you'll click submit. And when you click submit, it shows up in recent incidents like it shows up here. Since I'm on my real account, I don't want to add like a not real incident, so I'm not going to click the submit button. But let me show you what it looks like when the trend report comes in. So I have an extra button here because I am an admin. So in the admin, I'm going to go to ClickLog Trends. And again, since you're not an admin, you're not going to see this, but this report is what I will publish. So you'll see here that so far I'm the only person that entered in an incident, and you'll see here that nowhere does it show the notes field. That's just your private field to keep. But what it starts doing, it starts logging days of activity and the different schemes of the top schemes and problems that are happening across the globe. And that's pretty much it. And so once there's more data of targeted individuals who have submitted this form, we can then start mapping the activity visually and also have a exportable report that we can share for any purpose that we need it for. So there you have ClickLog. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know.